she admits it. That being VTuber Mikeneko, now a part of the VoiceOre agency, officially launching her voice acting career. The talent behind Mikeneko also formerly being V-Shoujo's Amamiya Nazuna, and before that, Hololive Japan's Uraha Rusha. Mikeneko taking to her fan box today to confirm that yes, she was married to Japanese singer and lyricist Mafumafu. Mikeneko also addressing a number of other allegations, which due to YouTube enforcement is very difficult to talk about, and as we had come to find out from our last video, near impossible to put in a title or description of a video. Please join us at the end of this video for an editorial on that subject. So today, to start off with, we'll be sharing what Mafumafu shared on the Kore stream, alongside a Twitcast that Mafumafu performed earlier today. As then we'll be covering Mikeneko's side of the story, herself releasing a statement just minutes after that Twitcast. We'll then be covering a small bit of fallout from these revelations, and then again, quickly finishing up this episode with an important editorial, which we would be very thankful if you stick around and listen to. Mafumafu this past week being the subject of a Japanese weekly periodical, revealing that marriage and hitting upon certain aspects of those allegations. Mafumafu in turn making an official statement, a statement that proved to be so popular that his official site crashed, thereby making Mafumafu send out a more stable version that could be read. This statement being read in full in our last episode, as then the next day, Mafumafu would join YouTuber Kore on stream. This particular YouTuber being a very infamous individual, many believing that they were the individual who Mikeneko, then at the time Uraha Rusha with Hololive Japan, had leaked third-party information to, then leading to Cover Corporation to terminate her contract. Kore to this day still being a years-long acquaintance with both Mafumafu and Mikeneko, having known about their marriage for years now. Mafumafu joining Kore on stream yesterday to an audience of 180,000 concurrent viewers, which is around the normal viewership for this very popular YouTuber, as every last one of their stream VODs racks up over 1 million views each. So once again, Mafumafu making a number of allegations regarding his ex-wife, himself referring to this ex-wife as Asan, but at the time never directly naming Mikeneko. TVS this past week, before the publication of our last episode, confirming through an independent source that yes, Mikeneko and Mafumafu were married. And just to be clear, no, that source was not Kore, who themselves, yes, was also making that connection, even saying as much in the title of the actual stream in which Mafumafu had joined. The title of this stream being The Truth About the Marriage Troubles of Singers Mafumafu and Uraha Rusha has been revealed, as here now we have a translation of that stream. Once again, Asan refers to the party who was Mafumafu's previous spouse. Isan refers to the party that was an unknowing victim that had an affair with Asan. He has since apologized to Mafumafu and they are on amicable terms. Then beginning 25 minutes into the stream, they briefly talk about the ongoing trials, but Mafumafu is uncertain about what he's allowed to say, so he's choosing not to elaborate on it for now. Kore moves on to asking questions received from listeners. Question, is Asan pregnant or do you have children? Mafumafu laughs, then saying, that's completely not true at all. I'm sorry about that. There are people that suspect Mafumafu's a recording in Kore's stream, so Mafumafu clarifies that it's indeed him, and he's sincerely sorry for bringing this topic up. Another question, please, could you touch on B-san as much as you can? For example, is he an online singer? Mafumafu responding, he's not an online singer, but he's someone who also works in the internet industry. Question, Mafumafu's only written about what's been done to him. Have you not done anything to Asan? Mafumafu responding, at that time, I really did treasure my partner, and I might have times where I would have been displeased or had small complaints about her, but things like domestic or cheating on her. That's totally never happened before. Korikori then asking, so you've never said anything that would have counted as moral harassment towards her? Mafumafu responding, I've looked back at all my Discord chat logs with her. It was a huge amount, and I've never used any violent language with her at all. Korikori says that Asan told him that she had received horrible treatment from Mafu, but Mafu once again repeats that he has never done anything like that before. Question, will you continue with your live performances? Mafumafu says he personally wants to continue to do his best in his work. He is now in the midst of discussing that currently. However, there is no plans to cancel the live performance in February. Question, is After the Rain's quote-unquote wedding dress about Asan? Mafumafu saying that's wrong and apologizing for the misleading title, but it's not the case at all. There are suspicions from Korikori that Mafumafu was the one who leaked the information, as Asan was in the process of making her debut in voice acting and debuting as a singer in a really big company. That once again alluding to the Voice Ore company, of which Mikeneko is a new member of. Mafumafu firmly stands his ground to firmly reject this. In the article that reported about the incident, they said that no comments were given by Mafumafu's representatives. That wouldn't have happened if he were to leak it. Korikori then moved on to say Mafu might have told the situation to other people, and they leaked it. Mafu said he had tried his best not to talk about the situation. He was waiting for it to go on trial and then talk about it himself. Mafumafu had no idea how the situation has turned into this. Leaking the news is not positive to him in this situation, so he's made it clear it's not him who leaked it. So once again, Mafumafu not admonishing those who are talking about it now, getting his word out, but instead talking about the periodical who had released this information far before the trial had concluded. Regarding the 24-hour surveillance on Mafumafu by Asan to make sure he didn't cheat, Mafumafu said he was the one who suggested being on his phone and on Discord 24/7. Asan kept accusing that he was cheating on her every day, so he thought if she could see what he was doing every day, those suspicions would be put to rest. He made a group chat with Asan himself and his employees. She didn't oppose to him doing it, so he thought this was normal. Even when he was sleeping, he would have his microphone turned on while on the phone. Mafumafu said he thought really hard about how to prove he wasn't cheating back then, and this was the solution he came up with back then. He also thought that she would be able to see him and have a peace of mind if they lived together, which is why he bought a house. Korikori brought up why they both lived separately even though he bought a new house. Due to reasons that Mafu couldn't reveal, Asan had to move out of her old house. He then offered up the new house to Asan to move in. The reason why he didn't move in with her was because Asan herself told him not to move in. Asan lived in the new house while Mafu continued to stay in his rented apartment, even though the new house was bought by Mafumafu. Mafumafu thinks the reason why Asan told him not to move in was because she had negative feelings towards him. They moved into divorce proceedings soon after. And then the question, was the fact that Asan cheated on you true? Mafumafu confirmed that it was true. Bisan even reached out to him again yesterday to apologize for his actions after the statement was out. Mafumafu has evidence of the affair as well. Korikori mentions that Asan has previously told him that she has not cheated. Mafumafu has evidence that he can't show, as he might be sued for it. He then sends Korikori evidence which he was approved to show. The screenshot was a conversation between Asan and Bisan. In the conversation, Asan said he wanted to get closer to Bisan, then invited him to a room share with her. This stream not only showing these line messages, but also the state of this house when Asan, as we know now as Mikeneko, had left when she had moved out. Korikori says the evidence is shaky and she might have just been joking. Mafumafu, who is clearly distraught and still hurt, starts to explain that the day where they registered their marriage was around Christmas. He chokes up and says talking about this still hurts him. He powers through and continues. He made plans to spend 2 to 3 days with her after registering their marriage and reserved a place for it. They digress a bit, but Mafumafu says that there wasn't any wedding ceremony. Back to the story, Mafumafu booked a place for 2 nights and 3 days, bought Christmas presents and cake, and waited for Asan in the place that he booked. Asan only arrived the next day. She got angry and left. She came in around 5 a.m. and Mafumafu told her he was sleepy, so he said, let's just sleep. She got angry and left and didn't come back, even though Mafumafu booked the hotel for 3 days. She even left without touching the presents and then went on to ask Bisan if he was free to hang out during the end of the year. Mafu said he really really felt like he was dying. Kohaku then shows the Discord screenshots, again between Asan and Bison. Asan writes that she's free on the 28th to hang out and asks if Bison was free. While reading the messages, Mafumafu breaks down and says that this was only shortly after they registered their marriage. Mafumafu is not sure if they have really met during the year end. He thinks they didn't meet, but he's not 100% sure. However, they have definitely met in person. Mafumafu once again says that he thinks Bison is a victim in this situation, and when he found out that Mafu and Asan had a relationship together, he apologized. The screenshot then reveals that Asan and Bison have alluded to talking about dating. And then we have the Kohaku Event. This being the NHK Kohaku Udagasin, more commonly known simply as Kohaku, an annual New Year's Eve television special produced by Japanese public broadcaster NHK. Even today, a performance on Kohaku is said to be a big highlight in a singer's career because of the show's wide reach. Mafumafu was set to appear on Kohaku, which made Asan anxious about their relationship as she thought that this gave him a chance to meet new females. However, Mafumafu said he slept alone in the rehearsal rooms during Kohaku by himself on an air mattress that he bought himself. Immediately after Kohaku ended, he took a taxi and went home and cooked New Year dishes so that they could celebrate the New Year together. He didn't want her to worry, so he immediately went home. Asan came a while after. In Mafumafu's original statement, Mafumafu talks about Asan leaving the house permanently, but leaving it in a mess. Cardboard boxes strewn about, and even an urn containing the cremated remains of one of Mikeneko's pets that she had left behind. Mafumafu on Kohaku saying the ashes in the urn was not Asan's cat, but her hamster. Mafumafu brought the urn back with him, and it's in his living room now, resting. Mafumafu thought he wouldn't be able to have the house that he bought for Asan and himself back. However, he wanted her to give back the engagement ring that he gave. To Mafumafu, an engagement ring is a way of saying, quote unquote, please be with me forever. However, ever since they registered their marriage, she was thinking about someone else, and since they aren't thinking of being together anymore, Mafu wanted the ring back. Mafu said if she returned it, he wouldn't need any other settlement. However, she still hasn't given the engagement ring back, and this is how he got the house he purchased back. The reason why Mafu had never went into the new house while Asan was living there was because he believed that it's wrong to enter into her house when she had explicitly said not to enter. When Mafumafu went to the new house, there was just trash and cardboard boxes everywhere in the room. This is also where they showed photos of the trash. The cardboard boxes were even littered outside the house. And then the question, what did he like about Asan? Mafumafu received a lot of opposition from everyone about their relationship. Mafu thinks he couldn't talk too in-depth about the reason why they started dating or married. Asan told him a lot about her history and how she had a lot of painful memories. She said that there were a lot of horrible men out there, which is what led her to suspect that he's a cheater. Mafumafu felt really bad and tried his best to think of ways to comfort her, and he tried to do his best. However, she still couldn't fully trust him. He thought by promising that they'll stay together in the future, that'll make her feel more safe. He says that if he recalls it now, he doesn't know why he held those feelings for her. He says he personally also had a painful past and could sympathize and understand how she felt. He said he really wanted to do something for her. Mafumafu said back then he might have really been inexperienced at love, but the things she got the most angriest about was when they started dating. She would get angry at him for replying late. She would tell him, quote, a normal boyfriend would reply in a certain way. So he started opening Discord where he could see and reply immediately. They would send hundreds to thousands of messages to each other on Discord. This felt normal to him only because he was told that this was normal. He thought this was okay as he felt that this could let her have a peace of mind. Kohaku asked how Mafumafu could not have realized that this was not normal. Mafumafu says that if you were told each and every day, quote, this is not normal, this is not normal, this is not normal at all, you'll start to think you're not behaving normally, so he ended up assuming that this was the norm in dating. And now we have a trigger warning mentioning sexual abuse. Mafumafu revealing another incident involving C-san, who is a mutual friend and songwriter. Mafumafu said he'll start talking about another incident. This is a situation where he had evidence but couldn't write in his statement. There was actually a mutual friend who was a songwriter between Mafumafu and Asan, hereby referred to as C-san. C-san would intercept when Mafu and Asan fought, but then the situation ended up being them saying Mafu was the one at fault, which led Mafumafu to apologize while crying on Discord. Mafumafu then recalls a particular particular incident when he gave Aeson the engagement ring. She ended up suspecting that he was cheating on her days after. Mafumafu said he told her he gave her an engagement ring to express that he wanted to be with her, so he didn't want her to accuse him of such things. Aeson then told him, quote, "I can't believe you with something as insignificant as this," which really hurt Mafu. He then said, quote, "If that's the case, let's stop. We won't get married. Give me the ring and let's start a clean slate." Seeson only heard about Mafumafu asking her to return the ring and not the whole truth. It was discovered that Seeson was Aeson's ex-boyfriend. Whenever they had a fight, Aeson would ask Seeson not to say anything bad about her. Seeson could have rejected this, but Seeson chose to support Aeson because when they were dating, Seeson's agent was a female, which made Aeson mad. She would spread rumors that Seeson sexually abused her and got her pregnant. This turned out to be a lie. Seeson was really mentally hurt and cried a lot because of this. Seeson told this to Mafumafu and apologized to Mafumafu. He also said he'll stand up to testify for him if needed and apologize for doing all the things he did to him in the past. Mafumafu is not worried that he would be sued or jailed, as he has evidence of these 2 years where he hasn't done anything wrong from his side, and he was the one who filed for divorce. Korikori realizes that Aeson might have been lying to him during their conversations, as Aeson has claimed, among many things, that Mafumafu might face legal actions. Korikori then shows a screenshot from Aeson, which basically is a reiteration of what Mafumafu had said in his article. She accuses Mafu of cheating on her, of hurling abuse language, and killing her cat. Mafumafu then says that he can provide evidence that identifies loopholes in what she was saying. And once again, to be clear, in Mafumafu's original statement, he wholly denied ever hurting, let alone killing, Mikeneko's cat. We then have the question, do you have anything you want to say to your listeners? Mafumafu responding, "I really didn't want to grumble and complain like this. I'm really sorry that this has created such a big situation. I'm thinking of personally apologizing to my listeners on my own live stream. I'm really horrible." Korikori then thinks that Mafumafu is a good person. Mafumafu responding, "I'm sorry for always crying. This was really painful. It's true that I lied to my listeners, and that is 100% my fault. I will never forget this and live with it. I'm really sorry." Last question, is Mafumafu wearing a wig? Mafumafu then responding, "Do you really want to talk about this? I dyed my original hair white, but it made my scalp bleed, so to strengthen my hair again, I got a wig made." Korikori responding, "Wow, the quality was really good." Mafu responding, "It's not like I live by wearing wigs every day, but I got a white wig done as it was making my scalp bleed." Korikori asking, "Are you done with love?" And further injecting, "But that's love. You'll become strong and then meet someone that's wonderful." Mafumafu responding, "But don't you think someone as old as me who said stuff like this is disgusting?" Korikori responding, No. Well, it might be hard." And then they end the call after a bit. So now we have revelations of a Seeson, an individual connected to both Mafumafu and Mikeneko. Mafumafu saying this was an ex-boyfriend of Mikeneko's. Mafumafu stating that Mikeneko had spread rumors of Seeson sexually abusing her and getting her pregnant. Once again, Mafumafu himself stating that through an information disclosure, it was Mikeneko, his own ex-wife, who had been spreading very specific rumors about him, including animal abuse. Once again, Mafumafu earlier today taking to Twitcast for an under 10-minute stream. Summary of that reading, Mafumafu firstly apologizes for bringing up the situation that he's sure people don't want to see or hear about again. He said he did think about telling everyone after the case was settled, but this still doesn't erase the fact that he lied to his listeners. He knows that people will end up hating or disliking him because of this situation. He will never forget the fact that he lied to his listeners and deeply apologized for it. Once again, he apologized for lying to everyone. He says he'll never forget about the fact that he lied to us, and he thinks that he was able to tell the truth of what he wanted to say. He wants to live truthfully and be himself fully from now on. About his live performance in February, the people appearing with him have reached out to him saying, quote unquote, "Let's do our best together." So Mafumafu will aim to do his best and continue with the live performance. Mafumafu continuing to say, "I'm so relieved that I don't have to lie and that I was able to tell everyone. I'll reflect on this and look forward and focus on my activities. I'm really sorry to everyone who supported me. I'm so sorry. I won't forget this feeling for the rest of my life. I'll reflect on it deeply. Please don't worry. I'll become someone who will be able to have you listen to his music, someone you'll be happy to go to hear perform live. I deeply apologize for everything. I'm sorry that this was short, but I'll end it." That stream coming to an end, and Mafumafu sending out another tweet stating, "Thank you so much for sending kind words to someone as unworthy as me. I will be someone who is worthy of such words. I will be a person person that you can proudly say you support, a person that no one will be ashamed to be associated with. I won't forget this for the rest of my life. Thank you so much. And then just minutes after that Twitcast, at last we would hear from Mikeneko. Mikeneko tweeting out about the disturbance and then linking to her Pics of Fan box. Herself now making this statement. This statement reading, "Thank you for your continued support. I am sorry for the personal trouble that I have caused you. I would also like to take this opportunity to apologize again for taking the form of informing you in this manner. As has already been reported, I entered into marriage with Mr. Mafumafu in 2021 and we divorced in 2022. As a streamer, I am bound by various ties to my profession and as a result, I have had to lie to all of you. I'm truly sorry to all of you who have supported me. I also thought the matter of this disturbance was a personal matter between me and him, and in consideration of his privacy, I thought that I should not disclose to the public what had happened between us. However, he has made so many one-sided arguments public that I feel compelled to mention them. I plan to clarify the details in a lawsuit, but I have decided to make this statement public in the hope that it will at least convey to you what needs to be conveyed to you. About the two-timing. I did not have a two-timing relationship with Mr. B, that being B-san, while I was married to him. I met Mr. B once before our marriage, but we never had a date, nor have we seen each other since then. Of course, I have never had a sexual relationship with Mr. B. I am sure he knows this, as he will know if I confirm it with him. We have received comments that the exchange of lines was public and that the contents of the exchanges should have led to suspicion of cheating, and we regret that. However, the messages were sent in casual and joking manner, and as stated above, I have not even met Mr. B once after our marriage. About our married life, it is true that during our marriage, I suspected him of cheating on me and questioned him. I am sorry if that had driven him away, but it is not my perception that I had been harassing him or constraining him persistently. It is also my perception that the divorce settlement has been finalized. The doctor who was in charge of the divorce discussions at the time will also provide information in cooperation to the lawyer who is currently in charge of the trial with him, including the timeline and events in the upcoming trial. Also, since the case is in litigation, I will not go into details, but I had reasonable grounds to suspect that he was cheating on me. I did not hire a detective, so I have no objective evidence, so I cannot say for sure. But I also would not suspect him in the dark without any reason. In such a situation, he also suspected me of cheating on him, and I think both of us were in a state where we could not fully trust each other. He also forbade me from contacting other men, and we agreed to tell each other in advance if we were going to contact each other. About the divorce agreement, in the stream, he said that I had initially asked for money in the divorce, that he no longer asked for money after his relationship with Mr. B came to light, which is not true. First of all, my financial claims against him were based on the grounds of moral harassment, and 2, unilateral requests for divorce. I will refrain from writing about this point in detail here because of the possibility of defamation and other issues that may arise. In addition, we are not mentioning the affair because we were advised by our lawyer to refrain from making the claim because there was no objective evidence and it was only an allegation. When I discussed him with my relatives, they became angry and published my correspondence with them, which could have violated his rights. So after discussing the matter with my lawyer, we decided to divorce with no money exchanged on either side. Regarding the slander against him, it is true that I made several posts about him. It is also true that he has filed a lawsuit against me. I am very sorry about this. At that time, my contract with the firm was terminated and he asked me for a divorce at that time. I was mentally trapped for a while after that, and after the divorce, I posted my thoughts and feelings on the internet. I am truly sorry. However, my lawyer told me not to mention much about the lawsuit, so I won't go into details. But many of those posts would not even be rated as illegal in my lawyer's opinion. I also acknowledged that I had made the postings myself, apologized to him and through my lawyer, and negotiated a settlement with him. However, he offered me the following conditions. 1, I must suspend all activities under the name of all streamers. 2, I must not use social networking services. 3, I must issue a statement with the contents he requested. And 4, I must pay him 1 million yen in compensation. At the time, my contract with the firm was terminated and I was anxious about my livelihood, so I could not accept his proposal. And since a settlement could not be achieved, I decided to file a lawsuit. The lawsuit was full of his one-sided and factually incorrect statements, including his familiarity with me, which were not directly related to the post in question, and there were many harsh expressions, and my lawyer told me, quote, "This is too much." I was also given the opinion that this is tantamount to a personal attack that unnecessarily humiliates me through a lawsuit. So I filed a countersuit against him, and and then submitted a complaint to the police, which was accepted. Regarding my former dating partner and false stream, he has stated in a stream that I have been sexually assaulted and impregnated in a relationship to a former boyfriend. However, none of this is true. I think this is too terrible a statement. On the contrary, my former dating partner, a composer, was discovered that he was living with another woman while he was in a relationship with me, and I was the one who was victimized. Regarding pets, in his stream, he made a statement to the effect that I had given my cat murky, dirty water to drink, which is not true. I took good care of my cat. The pictures that he said he took were supposedly of the water after I left the house. As any pet owner will know, if you give water and the cat drinks that water and a little time passes, the water becomes cloudy with the cat's saliva and body hairs. The water was changed frequently. Also, they would give an explanation that makes no sense, such as if the water was not cloudy, the cat would not drink it. Also, there is a misunderstanding about the pet remains being left behind with the garbage. First of all, the pet remains are the remains of a hamster, not a cat. I took good care of her, so when she died, I took a burial service to cremate her and properly store her remains. However, in the flurry of having to move in the wake of my divorce, I left the remains at his house. Therefore, I asked my lawyer to tell him to return the remains to me, but to this day, they have not been returned. Finally, we are currently taking both civil and criminal action against him. In addition, his statement and stream this time were too one-sided. And after consulting with my lawyer, we have decided to take both civil and criminal action against him as well, although we are truly unwilling to do so. I do not want to get into this kind of dispute with the person to whom I once made a lifelong commitment. I'm fully aware that I am at fault for the postings I made against him. However, it is really painful to see that in the lawsuit, he claims factual allegations that are not directly related to the post in question and that he ignores all of my rebuttals and arguments that I've submitted in the lawsuit. I am very sorry that I, who am in a position to make you smile, have caused you to be disturbed by such an unflattering private matter. Please note that this is a private matter. I do not wish any slander to be made against him in connection with the matter, so please refrain from such actions. In addition, in light of the current turmoil, there have been a lot of slanderous posts against me that have gone too far. I will continue to take legal action against such postings. I will continue my activities as a streamer, and I will do my best to bring smiles to everyone's faces despite the difficult situation. So once again, Mikeneko confirming the marriage, stating that she had lied about that, and also confirming that she was behind anonymous internet posts about Mafumafu. Mikeneko otherwise denying other allegations, including cheating, and generally not addressing the allegations of abuse. And after all of this, we also have the character illustrator for Mikeneko, who had also been her character illustrator while she was Uraha Rusha, taking to Twitter to make this post. Yura translating because I have seen criticism of Yasuyuki Sensei in English. I've tried to convey what Sensei has said in English. If Sensei so wishes, I will delete this. Then translating that text from the character illustrator saying right now on X, formerly Twitter. And in emails, there have been a lot of uneasy questions in textual form directed towards me, Yasuyuki, so I will answer it here. Firstly, my dealings with Mikeneko are strictly a relationship based on business. As such, I do not know whether the topic going around at the moment has anything to do with Mikeneko, so even if I am asked about it, I am unable to answer. Repeating the aforementioned, I had been commissioned as a job by Mikeneko to design her VTuber character. Although I had detailed twice before, I recognized her strong wish and will to work on redeeming her reputation, thus I decided to be involved in the character creation. As our works currently still in production, decisions will be made on those after consultation with the agency that Mikeneko belongs to. I apologize for causing concern to everyone who has supported me. Since I began work on her model until now, there have been many rumors, slander, and even threats directed towards me. I originally did not want to make a public statement, but in view of how large and damaging the situation has become, I decided to do so. Once again, that is the character illustrator for Mikeneko, stating they have received threats. As very lastly today, we would like to address our last episode, which has led to feedback, critique, and yes, harassment directed at us. Running that episode with the thumbnail of Major Agency VTuber was married, that being a point that TBS had actually confirmed. Numerous accounts on Twitter.com, many of them from underage individuals, questioning or disparaging us for not mentioning the abuse allegations within the image or headline. A point we'd like to quickly address, as we only discovered after creating the video and attempting to upload it to YouTube, that YouTube has become even more strict. As upon uploading of that video, but before publishing, it was immediately limited, thereby making for certain that little to none of our audience would even see the video or hear Mafumafu's words. That then forcing us to remove such words that we had in the title, including divorce and cheating, and also making us remove abuse in the description. And so we moved ahead with what we could confirm and what was also not liable. Many of the suggestions given to us would have actually opened us up to litigation, of that of which, of course, we wish to avoid. And regarding the subject of marriage, we do not find it to be inconsequential. Certainly far less serious than abuse, but the point being that marriage was the catalyst. Urha Rusha being the girlfriend experience VTuber who even at the time of her termination was selling on the Hall Production official shop this ring, that being a lifelong engagement ring. The statement of abuse is important in this story, perhaps the most important part, but YouTube.com, in their infinite wisdom, decides to highly limit, if not outright destroy videos that mentions terms such as those in the thumbnails, titles, or descriptions. Lastly, to the subject of whether TVS should even be covering this story, we say in turn, of course. This is a monumental figure within the VTuber scene. At this point, millions upon millions within Japan and online know of the situation, and we find it highly relevant and important to convey this story, as these are individuals that have and continue to earn millions and millions of yen, and yet whose actions, even to the most devout of followers, may turn out to be objectionable. And those followers, above all, should be aware of these confirmations and allegations for further monetarily supporting these individuals. Thank you once again to our audience who have respected our position on further covering stories like this within the VTuber scene. Your likes and comments are very welcome. As that is all for this episode. As always, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe below. Send in your VTuber news to our Discord, and we'll have more things VTubers say for you soon.